What's up, y'all? It's the Dr. Investor back again with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to become a Section 8 landlord. Before I get into the topic, you know what to do. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll be right back with the topic. So what is a Section 8 landlord? So to clarify, there's no such thing as a Section 8 landlord. You're a landlord just like any other landlord who owns rental properties. It's the same process. The only difference between you and those other landlords is that you're selecting to rent to Section 8 tenants. So why would I even rent to Section 8 programs? So first, let me clarify what Section 8 is. So Section 8 is a federally backed program. It's ran by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Also, individual states contribute as well. So as I mentioned, it is a program that's funded by the federal government. And one thing I know about the federal government, they never run out of money. It doesn't matter what economic environment you're in. It doesn't matter if there's a recession, if there's a natural disaster, if it's an inflationary period. They will not run out of money because ultimately they can just print more. So why would you not want to be in business with the federal government? That is why I personally choose to be a Section 8 landlord, as well as helping individuals in need find housing, because Section 8 is the largest rental assistance program in the entire United States. And you get to assist in helping individuals get quality housing, because that's what I provide. So how do I buy Section 8 property? As I mentioned before, there's no such thing as a Section 8 property. It's just a rental property that you are willing to accept Section 8 tenants living in. You'll list this property a little bit differently than you would if you were just renting to market tenants. If you are a landlord who's willing to rent to Section 8 tenants, it's important you list your rental property in the places that Section 8 tenants are looking for properties. One of the most popular properties that individual Section 8 vouchers look for properties is affordablehousing.com. This is a nationwide website. This will likely be the go-to website that you're listing your property. Make sure you check with your local Section 8 office to see where they're telling tenants to look for properties, because that's where you need to be listing your property. I know the big question everyone's asking, how much will Section 8 pay? So it varies based on jurisdiction. It matters the city that you're in. It matters the state that you're in. So typically Section 8 is willing to pay fair market rent. So what other properties are being listed for, they're usually willing to pay that. But in most states, they have something called mobility areas or top tier areas, which they're willing to pay a premium for. They're willing to pay 30 to 40% above market rent. As a landlord, your eyes should light up because you're getting more renting to a Section 8 tenant than you would renting to a market rate tenant. So the Section 8 program in many states are willing to pay a premium if your property is located in a highly desirable area. Also, if your property is a high quality property, which I hope that's what you're putting forward. So if your property fits these characteristics, you can get 30 to 40% higher than market rate. This increases your cash flow. So how much is Section 8 going to pay versus how much the tenant going to pay? So this varies on a tenant to tenant basis. Section 8 usually subsidizes most of the rent because they're a rental assistance program, and usually individuals have to fall below a certain income threshold in order to get a housing voucher. So I've had tenants who pay $0 in rent and Section 8 covers the entire rent, and I've had tenants that pay anywhere from 10 to 20% of the rent and Section 8 covers the rest of it. But all in all, Section 8 is going to subsidize the majority of the rent. So at the beginning of every month, you don't have to be hounding your tenant. Where's my rent? Where's my rent? Because Section 8 is paying the majority of that rent. And they do not miss any payments. Every month you're getting direct deposit or check straight to your bank account. Every month you're getting direct deposit on the first of the month to your bank account because, as I mentioned before, the federal government does not miss payments. So why would an individual rent to a Section 8 tenant? Section 8 tenants have different characteristics than market rate tenants. And one of the characteristics that I desire as a landlord, tenants that are going to stay a very long time. And Section 8 tenants tend to stay on average much longer than market rate tenants, especially if they're living in a great neighborhood in a high quality property and renting from a great landlord, which I'm hoping all of you are who are watching this video. I have Section 8 tenants that haven't moved at all since they started their lease. In real estate, your biggest expense as a landlord will be vacancy because you're no longer getting any rent for that vacant unit. And you want to minimize this as a landlord to maximize your returns. And renting to Section 8 tenants helps limit the vacancy because these tenants are typically staying longer than market rate tenants. So once you've done all those steps, you're all set to go, all set to accept a Section 8 tenant. In order to achieve sustained success, it's important you be a good landlord and run your business properly, which I talk about in my other video. So that's a wrap for this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And if you know anybody that'll benefit from my content, make sure you're sharing it with them. The Dr. Investor is out.